She Said is the new movie about the Harvey Weinstein scandal. Or not so much the scandal, but the journalists who reported on it. First off, I want to say the main issue with this movie is the movie is called She Said, and not once in this entire movie do they say that's what she said. I'm fucking kidding. Great way to start off a review. Um, I think this movie is an interesting movie for me because I went into this movie not really wanting to see it. My issue with this movie from the trailers and stuff, I was like, okay, what's the point of making this movie now? These Harvey Weinstein stuff is ongoing. Is there a reason for this movie to be made? And I think it is absolutely watching the film. It's fantastic. All the performances here are amazing. But what's really great about this movie is this movie really dives deep into not Harvey Weinstein, but the victims. And that's the point of the story. And I think what's great about this movie to me, and an interesting choice, they never depict Harvey Weinstein in this movie. Now, part of that is interesting because, uh, well, I mean, obviously they couldn't depict him in some scenes because of the fact that in real life, when the journalists were investigating it, he kept declining to comment and speak to these journalists. And they show that in the movie. But also, you could see like how they could show him in the movie. They don't try to do anything like that, and so it's interesting because it really puts the perspective of this movie on the victims. And I think that's neat about this movie because I believe this movie is directed by a woman, and the fact that it's directed by a woman adds this great level of understanding and love and care into this movie about wanting this shit to stop, and wanting this to quit happening. I mean, and also I think what's nice about this movie is it also just shows how there are political aspects to this kind of shit. It doesn't just happen in Hollywood too. I mean, you see how Bill O'Reilly get canceled for Fox News because he was out there being touchy with people. You see that Trump has allegations against him, and to this day still does. Actually, like literally this week, he had to come out and deny another one. So, you know, so these are kind of interesting pieces of life, and these are things that are ongoing. And I think what's nice, and I think some people might have issues with this movie from a critical perspective, where it's not the most beautifully shot movie. It is just a straightforward narrative telling this story. But I think that's perfectly acceptable for this movie because this movie is not about showing off around the camera. It's not around about any directorial style. It is about the people that this man affected and hurt, and them telling their truth and their story to make a change for the better. And that is what this movie is about. It's an incredibly powerful movie. It is a very important movie to watch. So I thought this was great.